Hello friends, welcome back to Valued Vintage Cards. In this video, I'm going to continue my George Sisler collection share. So the first one was a lot of similar cards. I should probably provide a link to that in the description here. And then this video, what I'm going to do is take a jump. I'm going to skip over the rest of the playing days and some of the other neat era cards from when he was active and go all post playing. I'm also going to include the oddball kind of non-card stuff that I've got. So as you can see, I've got a fairly decent amount of recent current cards. A lot of them are relics, a lot of bat relics. These aren't really that expensive, so for being as rare and unique as they should be. And then I also have my 5 copies of the 1967 Venezuela Tops, the Retirado set. So I have 2 SGCs, a PSA, and 2 ungraded. So I don't know how many there are of those. There are dozens. There's definitely not hundreds. But I have found my way to having 5 of them. So what I want to do is share a little bit of why I like Sisler in this one as well. So I'm going to share really kind of the way we used to learn, right? Growing up, for somebody in my age range, these might look really familiar. If you're in your 40s, 50s, you may have come across these in the 80s, and you'd read the back of that and find some really interesting things. So I'm just going to share a little bit about George Sisler. So on the back of this card, it says, "The paths of 2 future Cooperstown greats crossed in Ann Arbor in 1912. That's when Sisler, then a freshman engineering student at the University of Michigan, first ran into recent law graduate Branch Rickey. The latter was the Wolverines baseball coach at the time, and he would serve as a mentor to the former for several years." I don't know if any of these cards actually, that's on the back of that card, which is why I collect these things. I don't care that it's shiny and whatever. It's $1 or whatever. I don't do it for that. I do it for the stories and the write-ups on the back of these. I think they're really neat. So, yeah, he met Branch Rickey, later served in the military under Branch Rickey, and then later, served as a scout. And from what I understand, helped scout both Jackie Robinson and Roberto Clemente at different times in different capacities. The next card, giving a little bit of description, it says, 2 of baseball's greatest hitters, both named George, began their major league careers as southpaw pitchers. One, of course, was George Herman Ruth, who in 1916 was 23-12 and led AL hurlers with a 1.75 ERA. If you didn't know that, Ruth was pretty darn good. The other was George Sisler, who as a rookie hurler in 1915 twice defeated Walter Johnson with complete game victories. But Sisler's bat couldn't stay on the sidelines, etc., etc., etc. They talk about some of the great accomplishments, and that's on the back of that card. So this one describes a little bit more of maybe why he's not as respected statistically for his total accomplishments. So after hitting .420 in 1922, his second 400 season and second batting title in 3 years, Sisler missed the entire 1923 campaign due to a severe sinus infection that caused double vision. "I felt sorry for the fans, for my teammates, for everybody but myself," he recalled. "The doctors all said I'd never play again. But when you're fighting for something that actually keeps you alive, well, the human will is all you need." Sisler returned to the field in 1924 and batted a combined .320 over the next 7 seasons, retiring following the 1930 campaign with a robust .340 career average. So that's the back of that card. Just amazing. I mean, had he not had that issue. And then if you're not as familiar, again, I feel like Sisler's a little niche. Not everybody knows. When you look at his career stats, so .340, had he not missed that year, or had he just not had the dip, he had 2,812 hits. He's a 3,000 hit guy. 257 hits in, was that 1920, when he only hit 407? So 352, 407, 371, 420, pretty amazing. And then also for a first baseman, like those stolen bases. And a lot of players back then were saying he was basically Ty Cobb, but could also pitch. You know, just amazing. So that's a little bit more of why I like Sisler so much. And then there's so many other post-playing day cards. So 1940, I'd love to have that whole, at least Hall of Fame run from that set. He's got the 48 tops, which of course I had to get him if I'm going to get anybody. I think I only got 2. He's got that R423, the world's tiniest card. I think that might be true. I mean, I'm sure there's some extreme goofball versions, but it's pretty darn good. Golden Press, you know, rough version. It's $1, a couple dollar card. Don't need to spend big money on it. There's the Fleers from the early 60s and 60 and 61. Those are actually pretty darn neat. Good write-ups in the back. Pirate Special Batting Instructor. So, kind of interesting at that point. And then these two, kind of regional oddball issues. They're both Shakies, different years. So, kind of neat options. And then I want to jump off and go beyond cards. So, a couple other fun things that I've picked up over the years. Sisler and Rogers Hornsby, both on the Braves at that point. So just kind of a newspaper cutout. There is The Knack of Hitting, small little book. So again, to me, this is what it means to really, truly be a player collector. You're a deep dive. You know, he was known to be one that didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he didn't swear. He was, you know, engineering student at the University of Michigan. You know, the things he did in his career were well beyond 340 and 257 hits and some of the other things that we know of. And actually 2 of his kids played in the majors. So, also kind of a neat thing. Here's a type photo. It's one of the few type photos I have that's not slabbed. If I can get them cheap enough, I will. But it's his kid, Dick Sisler, signing. I believe it's type maybe 3. I have to double check what they were claiming. It does have some things in the back that I've kind of folded over just so it fit. So March of 1939. Got George Sisler, you have Branch Rickey, and then you have Dick Sisler being signed. So kind of a cool picture. And that wasn't very expensive at all. The next one I will show you, I've actually shown before, and it is significant because that is a very famous picture. And that's really where he was regarded in the day. I feel like now he's faded a little bit in terms of where we would classify him. Ruth and Cobb have extreme clout, and I'm not sure that Sisler carries that same. But I do have a Type 2 photo. Slightly different angle. There was a lot of people there taking pictures that day, but that shows it is slabbed. It is PSA certified. Sorry if I've got some thumbprints on it from handling it just now. I will clean that off. But cool image. That was one that Joe picked up, and he was kind enough to just say, as much as he loved it, he passed it on to me at cost and just said, if you want the Sisler, you should have the Sisler. So thank you, Joe. 2 more, and I will try and wrap this somewhat efficiently. This one's a Type 1 from 1928. I think it's... What is my only Type 1 photo? I have not gotten enough into photos. I need to get more into photos. But it's Sisler and Hornsby. So let me see if we can do original news service photo, Associated Press. This tells a little bit about what it would be. His first visit to St. Louis as a member of the Braves. So, yeah, kind of crazy. But I try and collect Hornsby stuff as well. So you got Sisler, and over there you've got Hornsby, and then a whole bunch of folks that I don't know who they are. So kind of neat though to have a Type 1. And I just stumbled on that on eBay of all things. And then the last piece I will show, I was able to snag one of those. When I do autographs, a lot of times I like getting them on something that's unique. So it's just a newspaper cutout. I've seen a couple of these, so I don't know if he was at a event and folks had multiple. There's one more for sale right now, I think, on eBay, so I don't know that there could be two. I have no idea. It could be 40. But it is a authenticated autograph. I never care about autograph grades, just prove it's real and I'm good. But to have an autograph of Sisler is pretty darn cool. So that is my second of 3. Next one will be very, very playing era card heavy. So hopefully this was still good, just to show kind of all the supplementary stuff that you can do if you're a true player collector, between books, photos, post-playing day stuff, regional goofball issues, remembering retired player stuff, and then foreign issues. I'm actually glad I did those 5 in the back. That looks crazy for a card that there might be, 50 or 60 of or something. I've got 5 of them. That's kind of cool. I was going to move on from a couple of them, but maybe I'll just create a shortage. I don't know. So we'll see. No, but thank you all. I hope this was kind of fun, just to take a further deep dive into my Sisler stuff. And part 3 will be released sometime in the near future. I'm waiting on one card to come in, actually, and then I'll have that thing done, and it'll be as complete as it can be for the current moment. So thank you all for watching. I will see you on the next one.